Hey, I'm Clara Reynolds. I'm the founder of Success for Kids and Families, and I'm currently the Chief Executive Officer for the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay here in Tampa, Florida. Dr. Kuntze, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk a little bit about my story. I am, as I mentioned before, my name is Clara. I'm a native here in Tampa, and I am a social worker by training. I got my master's in social work and was able to come back to the community and started immediately working in the social work field. I was a child abuse investigator and then moved into the education system, had an opportunity to work in the juvenile justice system and residential facilities, and then was able to participate in a very large federal grant that really redesigned how we worked with children here in the Tampa community. And from that had the great opportunity to start a nonprofit in 2005. And it's one of those things I laugh about because, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And if I knew then what I know now, would never have done it. So my business partner, John Mayo, and I, when we decided to start this nonprofit, we flipped a coin. I lost the coin toss and became executive director. And in Hillsborough County, in Tampa, my organization, brand new, was one of about 7,000. And at that time in our community's history, there were many new nonprofits starting up. And our funding community actually got a little nervous about that because they were entrusting large amounts of public dollars to people like me that had great program knowledge but didn't know the first thing about running a business. So some of our government entities, our Children's Board, which is an independent taxing authority, the United Way, a few private foundations, as well as local county government, created with the University of Tampa this certificate program. And it was a certificate program in nonprofit leadership and nonprofit management. I recognized very early on that I was the poster child for this opportunity, and so I was in the first cohort in 2006. And this nonprofit certificate program was master's, MBA level courses that were held over a week in cohorts. And the cohorts worked together over a 2-year period. And at the end, my organization was able to produce a capstone project to help launch it. I recognized going through that process, though, that there was still so much I didn't know, and I was still making many of the funders very nervous. So one of our local foundations, the Calm Memorial Foundation, came to me and said, Clara, if you would be willing to entertain getting your MBA at the University of Tampa, we would fund that. It was a wonderful opportunity for me. So I was able to take my coursework from the certificate program. It gave me 12 credit hours, which basically became my nonprofit concentration. And then over the next 3 years, I was a part-time MBA student. I was a little bit of an older student, and it was really at a time in the university's history where they were getting more involved in the nonprofit community. And so through my coursework, I had an opportunity to meet you, Dr. K, and really be able to translate what was happening in the classroom and take it out into the nonprofit community. I believe back before I got started in this nonprofit program, oftentimes students were using capstone projects, but they were working in for-profit businesses. One of the things that as a nonprofit member, there's always been this misnomer or this misunderstanding that nonprofits aren't businesses. They're absolutely businesses. They have to operate with the exact same business principles, but they also have to operate from a place of service back to the community. So through many of your classes and great opportunities, we were able to expose young MBA students to the nonprofit fields. And in turn, they produced for us branding, brand DNA, lots of marketing opportunities. We actually got some students that came and did internships with our organization. They were business students that came to our organization. And for many of them, it helped to launch them into further business careers. Also, with our relationship with the university, we were able to do some research. We were able to help professors be able to get published in using this for-profit, nonprofit model. So I thought that was a really great potential. The intersection between the university and the community, though, was so impactful for me as an individual and for my organization. So my business, Success for Kids and Families, when it started in 2005, there were 7 of us. We had a small operating budget of about $300,000. Through my work with the University of Tampa, and really through you, and I give you full credit and full ownership of that, because it was through you that over a 10-year period of time, we grew this organization to 70 employees, $6 million budget, 50 independent contractors, and we've created an organization that is sustainable. One of the other beautiful things that I think the University of Tampa did, and really, again, I give you lots of credit with that, is many nonprofits in our community were so heavily dependent on fundraisers that we were seeing, particularly in the 2005-2009 time period when the economy started to collapse, many organizations were going under. The University of Tampa and the MBA program helped us to develop a social enterprise. Basically, what that provided for us is it gave us an opportunity to create a business model that we could go out and sell to other municipalities, other communities, to basically create a revenue stream that we could reinvest into the organization, which is alive and successful today at Success for Kids and Families. So we haven't had to rely on that traditional fundraising model. Again, all of this was really through the work here at the University of Tampa and this nonprofit enterprise. I would certainly encourage any university to look into this. I believe that it not only benefits the university by bringing a different kind of cohort of student in, it also greatly impacts the community. And it can have such a long, far-reaching impact to train young, upcoming program people like myself to become the next wave of leadership in the nonprofit community. And I truly believe that when you marry those two things, that the nonprofit heart with the business mind, you can create incredibly impactful nonprofit organizations that do so much more in the community. So again, thank you, Dr. K, and thank you so much for everything that you've done for me personally, but also for the Tampa Bay community.
Thank you. Brilliant.